Good night. I am here with you one more time, and we're going into session 4. And we just want to pick up from where we left off, which was when me and my brothers and sisters were on the plane to come to America. And we were 5 nappy head kids coming to an experience that, would change our life. And I thank God that my mom, worked hard. And after 4 years, she came back and got us. So we just thank God, that I'm here in America to make a difference. And America has been, um, uh, you know, good and bad, because when we make decisions in life as parents to, relocate our family, we got to take what it comes with it, and we can't have any regrets. We just have to trust God that all our decisions were for our good. We got to put everything in the Lord's hands. Some people say, we shouldn't have left Jamaica. I heard a lot of people say they shouldn't have left Jamaica, but, um, that could be true. But God don't make any mistakes, and I trust Him with my life, and I trust Him that everything that's happened to me, it's part of His plan, and it produces Althea, who I am today. So I don't have any regrets, and I thank my mom for taking me to America. And I love Jamaica. I love Jamaica, and I wish I was there right now. But I thank God for the opportunity of being in America. And we make our life decisions, and your life is a reflection of your heart and your vision. So our life manifests what's in us. So we really can't blame anyone for anything. My mom gave us a great opportunity, and I just thank God for that. When we came to America, it was crazy. I can tell you right now, the first thing I can remember was going to a candy store in the airport in America. Me and my brothers, me and my brothers hung out together for a long time growing up. I don't know why, except my two sisters always seem like at a distance to me, but my two brothers are who I spend most of my time with. So I remember most of my memory with them as a teenager coming to America. Like those years to me was me and my brothers. And I remember coming to the airport, and me and my brothers, we were at a candy store, and they were like for us, thousands of candy. We was like, oh my God, we went crazy. It was like candy everywhere, and for 1 penny, you can get a whole bunch of candies. We were. Can you imagine? We were going. We were just like, oh, we asked mom for a quarter, and we would just like go. We were just in heaven. We were in heaven. We were just filling our pockets with every kind of candy. This was 1983, the end of 83, I think, almost 84, and it was cold though. And I'm telling you, we didn't look cute. Our hair was in braids. We had our little, ribbons in our hair. We had our coat on. We were just red. For me, I don't know. We were just innocent, and we just didn't know nothing, and we were just coming to a new country. And my mom and my father was there, and I was happy to reunite with my mom, and I was just happy. I was just happy. I remember we actually moved to the Bronx. We moved to the Bronx, and all I can remember when I came to America is snow. It was snow, 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 snow. And we lived at this house on 229th Street in the Bronx. And I remember there was this pool in the backyard. And my brothers are very risky. They always, to me, take chances that I don't do. I'm not risky. And my brothers, they just living on the edge, at least in our little world they were. And they used to always mess around with that pool. I loved hanging out with my brother. That's what I remember those years, was with my brothers. We used to hop the train together. Don't do this. We used to take the train. My mom used to work, full time. My father used to work, and my brothers were very mischievous, very mischievous, and we used to just find things to do. But we spent a lot of time together. I really loved my brothers, and I really enjoy that time growing up with them. We just always used to get in trouble together. And I remember that we used to watch older people kissing. We used to hide behind years ago they had like phones and phone booth. We used to hide behind the phone booth and watch couples, and we used to laugh and run. We just had so much fun together, And when my brother died, and my other brother's in jail, and he's been in jail for a long time, and I just felt I'm just really sad about it because I see my brothers as world changers. They were so brilliant, so smart, so creative. And sometimes we say, God, what went wrong? But, life is not easy and we make decisions, and I just love my brothers. And one of them is dead right now, and I never thought in a million years when my brother would die. But I just thank God for the early years, and I talk about him like he's not dead, I'll be honest to you. That's my way of keeping him alive, and I talk about my younger brother as if he's alive. So he's not dead in my heart, he's here, and I just can't seem to come to terms that he's not really, so maybe that's an issue, okay? I've fully come to the terms. It's been like almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years in November. And this is May of 2013. So in 3 years in November. And I just talk about him as if he's here. That's how I keep him alive, because I refuse to let him go, because he's my brother and I love him and I will always love him. And, but we had a great time growing up. I know that one big thing I remember was my mom and my father getting a divorce. I remember sitting in the living room, my mom and my father called us all in one room, and they're sitting there and they wanted to talk with us, and they're telling us that they're going to divorce. It seemed like I was the only one that was affected, because everybody else was like, okay, whatever, moving on. Me, Althea, I was just like, no. It was traumatizing my head. It was, I just, it was so sad for me. It was just like my whole world was just now split up, because my mom and my father didn't really get along that much, and they had their differences, but at least they were together. So, but when they see they weren't gonna, be together anymore, my brothers and sisters weren't really moved by it. I'll be honest to you, but I was. It was really sad for me. And all I can remember is everybody going back outside and playing in the snow, like nothing happened. But for me, it was a traumatic experience, and I really think that my mom has 5 great kids, and I really think that, you know, I thank God for my father, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my father. So I thank God for my parents being together. So I never want my parents to be separated, because they created me. So I thank God that, them come together. So but moving on, growing up was great. We used to go to church all the time. I was a Christian. My hair was not permed, and because in Jamaica, if your hair is not permed, that's what, natural hair, everything natural, and just the way God created you, So I used to go to church a lot in America, and I love church. I remember there was a church on 231st Street by White Plains Road in the Bronx, and I remember going to that church, and my heart just overflowed with joy. My heart just overflowed with love. I just wanted to be in the church, and I wanted to be in the choir, and I wanted to be in everything. But the truth, my mom wasn't really going to church. Even though she would take us to church, to Mount Vernon, she would take us to church. My mom, she always kind of lived like a Christian. She always looked like a Pentecostal Christian. She never wore makeup, and she was always like never wore pants, and so even though she wasn't really in church, all her friends and people she knew, everybody was church people. So we used to go to church all the time, and with friends from Jamaica, and but after a while we stopped. It just faded away. But I remember, like, really sad. I remember always wanting to go. I do, and I'm not trying to put myself above anything. No, I wanted to go to church. I wanted to be in the choir. I wanted to do everything church, because I just love being anywhere there's church, But slowly but surely, we wasn't going to church, and I just remember. This is how I remember us transitioning from this innocent little boys and girls to more adults. I remember, there was a pants out called Filippo Tatti. It was Filippo Tatti jeans, and my sister was able to get them, and and we never wore pants, but that was my sister's first pants. And then my sister got her hair permed, and my sister has nice hair. She kind of looked Chinesey, so her hair was straight, and my hair was nappy, and I couldn't comb it, and it always hurt. And my mom tried to comb my hair, but my sister, she got the pants and she got the perm, and I wanted to, I wanted what she had, and that one I think that was like the turning point from Jesus to from me to the world, because it seemed my sister was going to the movies, but she was the oldest one. She was doing things, and I'm just like, I want to do it too. And I think those were the moments that turned me from God. And because we weren't going to church, it was, what was before me. And I remember also my mom took us to 14th Street in Manhattan, because we lived in the Bronx, so she would take us, to my mom. She always give us treats, and she took us, to Manhattan, and I saw this. I'm sorry, don't be offended. This white lady and these white people, and it was like different. They had these big stylish bags and these stylish outfits, and they just looked rich, and they just looked like they just was like, it was like a magazine. I saw that and I wanted it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I saw just the way they look at. They were very rich and successful and had good careers and great jobs, and I wanted that. I wanted I felt like I could achieve and be everything that they were. I really felt that way. I always felt like nothing was impossible, and just my childhood was great. I lived in Mount Vernon. I remember that my mom had a tough time because we were such bad kids. We were. Anywhere we move, she would have to move again because we would get in trouble. My brothers and me, we would just. My two sisters were always a little bit more focused, and they was always doing different things. But I remember my mom had to keep moving, and I remember we moved to Mount Vernon. And moved to Mount Vernon, it was, for me, the school was, they were so mean to me. These girls, I didn't even know them. I just came there my first day, and they didn't even get to know me, and they didn't like me. And I was just like, I didn't have any thoughts towards them. I remember one day in gym class, one of the girls, she's like, oh, you stink, you smell, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I just took a shower. This girl, I remember her face to this day. She just picked on me, and she was able to get people to get on her bandwagon. I remember being so embarrassed. She's telling people that I smell and I stink. And he's from Jamaica. We take showers, so smell is not an issue for us. And I knew she was lying, but I couldn't convince people because everybody would just believe in her. And it hurt me, but I still didn't bow. I didn't want to be part of her group. I didn't want to be part of her friendship group. I didn't want to be. I'm very happy by myself, honestly. Like, my mind can keep me occupied by myself. My mind travels all over the world. But this girl was so mean. I remember, like her turning the guys against me, and I used to just can't wait to leave that school. And I remember my mom was always working, and she was going to college while taking care of 5 kids. My mom was single, taking care of 5 kids, and she was working full time and going to school and driving taxi at night. So my mom wasn't home a lot, but it was all of us together. And I remember my brothers would just walk from Mount Vernon to the Bronx, which was like across the street from Mount Vernon to the Bronx. We crossed the street and we're in the Bronx, but we weren't anywhere close to what we were used to when we first moved, which is 229th Street. And we would just walk like maybe 2 miles. And guess who lived like half a mile down? My father. My father always, throughout all my teenage years, my father always lived close to us. He wouldn't come by that much. He wouldn't do that much for us, but he was always like a block away, 2 blocks away, 3 blocks away. So we used to pass his house, and we used to go all the way down to the train station because 241st Street was where Mount Vernon and the Bronx meet up. And my brothers, we used to get on the train every evening and just drive the train all the way down and all the way back up. And we would just, it was cool for us. I remember one day that there's a place called Oglot, and this place had like every kind of toy you can imagine. And me and my brothers went into Oglot. And I was a thief when I was younger. I'm going to tell you the truth. I was a thief. I was. Me and my brothers used to steal a lot, and we went into our lot, and I saw a doll I wanted. And so I had to now find me something to put the doll in. I saw a doll. I saw like a candy I wanted. I saw like a hair thing I wanted. Kids, whatever's in our head, that's greatness at that age. And I stole these things and put in my bag. Who knows this man was watching me? And when I was trying to, walk out with my brother, like they split up, and I know they did their thing too, because my brothers, they had this issue. And I was trying to leave the store, and this man caught me. I had to stay in that store for 2 hours, and it was like a glass type office, so you can be outside and kind of see me. So my brothers were outside dying. They were laughing. They were. I mean, they didn't even try to help me. They were just laughing at me. It wasn't 3 hours. It felt like 3 hours. It was actually probably like an hour, but it felt like 3 hours, like an hour and a half. They called the cops on me, but I was too young to act for my mom. I couldn't. My mom was working, so they just kept me until like until the store closed, which was close to the time we got there anyway, because we were just riding the train all days after school, just going back and forth in the train. So it was like the last hour before the store closed, and all I can see is me sitting there. The man took everything from me, and he just, he said, I'm not gonna send you to jail today, but if you steal again, that we're gonna send you to jail, and that kind of stopped my stealing habit. But my brothers were outside dying. My brothers were laughing. They didn't try to save me. They didn't try to look out for me. They were just dying. When I got outside, I was just embarrassed because I wasn't sure if there was a message on on my mom's voicemail. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was embarrassing. That kind of stopped my stealing habit because I wasn't trying to go to jail. But that was that was my years at Mount Vernon. And I remember we used to hang out for Halloween, and we were just so into the candy. We didn't even know what the heck Halloween was, and we didn't care. We just wanted the candy, and we spent all our time. And it was me and my brothers, all our time, just going from house to house, pile up candy. We would have tons of candy. And my memory of Mount Vernon, it was kind of lonely because it was like a new area. The people in school were so mean to me. That girl, she just turned the whole school against me, and I didn't even know this girl. I'm serious. I showed up at school, and this girl just picked on me. But no, I'm learning. It's my greatness. I'm just something about me that's different that just move people. So I'm learning. To not resent. But after a while, people realized that I was very nice in that school. They was like, "You are a very nice girl." Like, they was like, I'm always misunderstood. Always, people just meet me and judge me, and not like me, or they hear one thing I say and not hear my total statement. Whatever it is, I'm always on the platform. And after I still didn't like the school. But after a while, people begin to know me, and they begin to realize that I'm just, what you see is what you get. She's very honest. She's very straightforward. She's a little different. She thinks differently. My dreams are different. But one bad thing that really happened to me at school was, we were playing kickball in school, and I remember kicking that ball so hard that my leg flew out of the socket. You heard, and they had to take me to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, they had to call my mom, and I remember that my knee was, my joint was like messed up, and they had to kind of put it together. And there was another time that I messed up my knee, and I'm just like, I remember growing up, I was always hurting myself. I'm like, why am I was always hurting myself. But my knee, another time I was playing, ball again. Actually, this was like I was a cheerleader and I was playing ball, and my knee got out of socket. Like, my knee just, it was just, there was a season that I was just hurting myself. It wasn't my hip, it was my ankle. If it wasn't my ankle, it was my knee. But I remember one day being in the clinic, and they had to take water out my knee because of, one of the injury, and they had my mom holding the needle, and my mom hand is shaking, and of course, the needle was like maybe like 3-4 inch long, and they had to fill it up with water that looks like blood. They say it's water, to me it was blood because it was red. They had my mom holding the needle, and it was just like, she was shaking, and I'm like, hello, this lady is like not a doctor, and she's holding it, and every time her hand moved, it was more painful, and I remember just fainting. I remember I can just never handle pain. I just always feel pain at such a high level. But I just thank God for growing up. I thank God for these experiences. I thank God for, my book that allows me to go back and just, think about life and think about these experiences. And, growing up for me, when I was a teenager, I just remember my brothers, and I remember spending a lot of time with them, and I remember my sisters going to the army, and I remember, me still being different. I remember going to my father sometimes. I remember, you know, um, just lots of different things. I remember we had to move to 217. I remember when I wanted to be a white girl, when I wanted to change my name from Althea to Mindy. I don't know what movie I saw. I don't know what TV show I saw, but I went through that phase, and then I started coming to the boy phase, but it wasn't strong. I was like 15, where I was, my eyes started to really open to like guys. My brothers used to always have guys come around, and my brother's friends always liked me and bother me. And sometimes there's like 15 guys outside the window just waiting for me to come downstairs. I didn't know who they wanted to see because I'm like, I don't know you guys. But my brother friends always liked me, and my brothers didn't do nothing to protect me. I was on my own, but I just had a great time with my brothers. And before my life started to really change, I remember, I don't know what it is, but we moved to 225th Street. And 225th Street by Bronxwood Avenue, and it was a season for crack. They were selling crack, 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 crack. I mean, there was so much crack going on, but I always say that, in life, you can have something right beside you and not be a part of it. And it never affected me. I was very focused. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be very wealthy. I wanted to be a movie star. I had my own plans for my life. So I didn't even pay attention to my surroundings. I really didn't. I was just focused on finishing school and, doing my thing. I wasn't trying to work too hard in school because I didn't want to spend my whole years in school just focusing on work. So I wanted to be an average student. I was to my mom, I want to be an average student. But I was different. I was always eccentric. I always dressed elaborate. I always, everyone wear one necklace. I wear 10. Madonna was big back then, so I wanted to be like Madonna. So I would take Madonna to the next level. But I remember going to this school called Olinville, and I lived at 225th Street. And this was the first day, I'm not lying to you, the first day, and I didn't know anybody. That's when I met one of my girlfriends. She's been one of my best friends for years, and we're friends now. And, I met her, we went to Olinville together. We actually went to junior high school, elementary school together too. But in Olinville was junior high school, 7th grade, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. I remember in the lunchroom, I was walking with the food, and there was either a piece of food on the ground, and I tripped over it. I tripped over the food, and I didn't fall though. And the whole lunchroom heard about it within 3 minutes. Like, one table start laughing, then another table start laughing, then another table start laughing, and then people talked about me tripping. I didn't even fall. And I'm like, these people don't even know who I am. And I'm like, why would they even notice me? There's like a million people who trip every day. But they noticed me, and it stood out in my head because I said, I'm new. I'm from Mount Vernon. Yes, I'm here now, and people don't know me, but why is everybody so, what I'm saying? They just singled me out, and they talked about this for weeks. And my face was breaking out then. I remember this really cute guy called me Pizza Face. I had pimples on my cheek. It was like pizza. It was just like I wouldn't stop breaking out. I mean, I always struggle with my skin. I have very oily skin, and I always struggle with my skin. But I remember this guy, because I'm just telling the memories that I have. I have a lot, but I'm not trying to limit it to get to the years, the future years. But I always had pimple. And this guy, he called me Pimple Face, and my sister used to break out. They would make fun of her. But of course, the Pimple Face girls are the ones that their face clear up and everybody wants them. Yeah. So we went through that season. After a while, everybody wanted my sister because her face cleared up, and all the guys liked me because my face cleared up. But I remember the guy; he just kept picking on me, and But those experiences stand out in my mind. But there was a time that I was dating this guy called Chris, and that's when I started my little dating, little by little bit. When I lived at 225th Street, and I can tell you who introduced me to that dating world. My mom had a friend, and this was my mom's closest friend that we met that used to come to Jamaica and visit us, and she had like a little daughter. I remember her little daughter. We were all like 15, 16, and we admired them because when we was in Jamaica, they used to come and visit us, and the daughter was so beautiful. The daughter hair was so long, and we just always admired my mom's friend because they always had money and they were always traveling. So when we met them in America, we would like always admire them. I remember the daughter would take me out, and then she introduced me to this guy. That's when my whole boyfriend thing started. It was a Spanish guy. And I remember that one day we was in a van, and she was in the front of the van and she was kissing her boyfriend, and I was in the back with this Caucasian, this Spanish guy. I didn't want to kiss him because I didn't know him, but it's like, but that's totally the whole boyfriend thing. Like, I think he kissed me, and I don't know, it was weird because I really didn't know him, but he was very cute. And I used to go to their house all the time, and we used to watch WHT. WHT was like um, a cable, and we used to watch sex on it. Me and my brothers, we used to be at my mom's friend's house when she go to work, because she went to work every day at 3. And so when she leaves, I'm there with her daughter and my brothers, and we're watching WHT, and they have pornos and stuff on it, and those kind of things. Us being on our own got me exposed to the whole sex world, and like that whole. But I wasn't having sex. I didn't even kiss, But it's like it just got my mind open. So next time I'm going to kind of talk about my first relationship, and talk about some times in my teenage years when it wasn't good, when I was taught to get older. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to the next session. And just wish you have an awesome day, and thank you for listening. Okay.